Hi, lovelies. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Sarah Martucci. I'm a psychic medium, certified crystal healer, paranormal investigator, all around witchy fucking weirdo that is well known for her feral yodeling to Jesus for help. Her, some call it obsessive, I prefer devoted, love to Sasquatch, as well as string cheese. You guys, welcome. This is a free weekly reading. This is where I pull 3 piles of cards. You choose any and all that you're drawn towards. But first and foremost, I talk a little something I like to call astrofuckery. So come with me for a sec. Let's talk about 2 of the things that I find I think personally are most important this week. All right. And then once we're done with astrofuckery, we get to the pulling of the cards. So you guys, first of all, I want to say, are you guys feeling next week's eclipse in your titties? Because holy fuck, it's coming. Holy fuck, it's coming. And look, we'll get to that next week. But just know that I feel like we have a respite this week. Venus is very much involved with this week, and it's going to be gorgeous, I think. So let's get to it. On the 22nd, we got Venus Cazimi. Guys, what does that even mean, right? It's like, Sarah, you're talking crazy. Hold on. I'm so glad you asked. Let me show you the way. When Venus is Cazimi, it means that it's conjunct with the sun. So it means that it's having like this beautiful light-filled moment. When any of the planets, for the most part, are illuminated by the sun, it's like beautiful stuff coming out, where we're able to see something or the themes more clearly defined by the sign that, that we're working with here. And so with Venus being here, this is going to be around what we value, what we love, what's important to us, what we find most beautiful or attractive. Maybe even too like literal money here. So just know this week in this moment, like Venus is feeling good. She's feeling fine. And on top of that, Venus is in one of her home signs, Libra. So there's this beautiful moment happening on the 22nd where we get this clarity and illumination around those themes I just talked about with Venus. And being in the sign of Libra, there's something here around justice and love. So there's something I want to say to you guys that like Venus just doesn't stand for just our love relationships. This is our friendships, our platonic relationships, our brother and sister. It's whatever we have any form of love for, what we find beauty in, what we find value in. So I think whenever the sign here is having such a beautiful moment as this, and also being in her home sign, like she's working on our behalf. So what do you want this day? Even like leading up to the 22nd, what do you want around your love relationships or your friendships or around like your relationship to money or your relationship to beauty? So what does that mean for you and your personal story too? So don't be afraid to look at those themes and see how you can work with the energy that day. I think it's going to be gorgeous. I think if I read this correctly too, that it's been the Venus Cazimi that's been happening, I think for over like the last 100 years, has traditionally been in the sign of Scorpio. And this is the first time in over like 100 years it's going to be in the sign of Libra. So there's also something else important happening there, right? With Libra being here, this is around, truth and justice, peace and balance. With Scorpio doesn't give a fuck about peace or balance. Scorpio actually is very much into violence, but I feel like Scorpios they need intensity. They need depth, they need power, or power and control dynamics here. They need something where they can feel like a little obsessive about it. They put their whole heart, soul, lifetimes into everything that they fucking do. Libra's not as hardcore, okay? Libra's a little more like, let's breathe. She's also an air sign, so she's a little less intense than the water sign Scorpio. But air sign here, she really just wants peace and justice and truth and harmony within any of her relationships, whatever's going on here. But what's interesting, guys, is she's at the 29th degree when she's Cazimi. So that means it's the Antarctic degree. It means that there's something critical happening here. So even though it's no longer in Scorpio, it's still a critical moment with Venus in a more chill air sign that is still asking for us to like really be critically looking at what is illuminated here around what we value, what is beautiful to us, maybe our relationship with money, our relationship to ourselves or other people and projects, whatever the fuck we got going on here. So I just think that make sure that we're telling the truth in our relationships. Make sure that we're telling ourselves the truth. Make sure that we're able to look at the things and maybe just really be honest for a second around what we value, what we find beautiful, what we find important to us, and bring those things closer to you. And not in a way where like you got to give up your peace or you got to give up a part of yourself. Don't do that shit. Okay. Bringing these things closer so that it like meshes more with you, so that you work more closely with these themes, so that like you and these themes kind of become one and work together in harmony. So it's a critical moment to find harmony, peace, happiness, and the truth within your relationships. And not only to other people, other places, and other things, but with yourself too. Now, what's interesting is the very next day, on the 23rd, both Venus and the Sun move into Scorpio, and Saturn is actually going direct. So guys, for the past however fuck long, Saturn's been retrograde. We've been looking at our inner structures. We've been restructuring inside. We've literally been going through and like Marie Kondoing shit. So what have you been letting go of, and what have you been holding on to? What's no longer working for you, especially foundations that we've built, maybe even like a long time ago. Maybe something's been coming up here and like really making us recognize and realize where we've set things up in maybe not a great way. And like how maybe we got to take that down and rebuild better. And what does that look like now? Now that Saturn's going direct, this is going to be able to give us a chance to like really get out in the world and take those inner workings, these inner foundational stuff that we've been doing, and bring it to the outside world. And then with Mars going retrograde at the end of the month, we'll get into that later too. That's going to be a whole heap of hot mess. But at least right now, we've got Saturn on our side. We got Venus on our side. It even sounds like we got the Sun on our side. So this week, have some fun, get out with the people that you love, pull the people, have the conversations, deal with the difficult things, do all the stuff this week. Make sure that, especially if there's any anger or resentment, that we kind of are getting like rid of that or working on that before Mars goes retrograde. Okay, before the end of the month, just try to do it before Halloween. All right, you guys try to do it before Halloween. But just make sure that like we're dealing with all the difficult things. We're not just making peace for the sake of peace, that we're actually dealing with the difficult themes, and that we're showing with not only our words, but with our actions, that we mean what we say and we say what we mean. And we're going to show up for our commitments, because that's also what Saturn talks about too. I just think it's very interesting. Right after that Cazimi, Saturn goes direct. So I think it also brings into realization not only what was just blown up like spotlight wise on the 22nd with Venus and the Sun, but then on the next day, Saturn's like, all right, now let's put structure to it. How do we have longevity here? How do we take what you love and what you value and really make sure that you have it for the long haul? We got this, you guys. We fucking got this. All right, next week, that's a whole nother fucking deal. We'll fucking deal with it when we get to it, okay? But let's deal with this week, all right? All right, so if you guys are done with astrofuckery, let's move on to the next screen. Follow me over there. Remember, you get to pull and choose any of the 3 piles, any and all of them. So, all right, next screen. I'll see you guys in a second. All right, if you guys pick card pile number 1, here's your beautiful cards. Your first one is the 5 of Cups. Second card is the King of Wands. And your final card is the 4 of Coins. So let's talk about it. So guys, I want to say this week with the King of Wands showing up here, we're definitely going to be dealing with an important male figure. King of Wands is going to be fire placement. So I'm looking at Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I do want to say I like that he's a king, so he's definitely more mature, but I still feel like we got some issues here. We still got some more maturing to do. Some of the issues that I have with the King of Wands is like he has a tendency to look towards the future and have difficulty being right here and in this moment, constantly going on to the next thing. So just make sure this person can be here and be with you now. But with the King of Wands, this guy is like the ultimate communicator, even though he's fire here, but he is also the connector. Everybody knows this guy. He knows exactly who to hook you up with, exactly where to send you and who to go to. This guy knows everybody and everybody knows him. He's kind of a mentor too. A lot of people come to this guy and get information from him. They just bounce ideas off of him all day long. So I do want to say this guy is absolutely in control. That's number 1 thing for him. Control and power issues are going to be maybe a problem here too. Maybe some anger issues. I've also found too here with Wands, we could be dealing with a police officer, firefighter, military background. This person, like courage and bravery is usually a theme here with this person and what they do. Maybe even like looking out for the underdog or protecting somebody that cannot protect themselves. That's very important to them. Now with the 5 of Cups here, guys, this is like self-inflicted fighting, like quarreling, kind of self-pity, loss, separation. Even too with the 5 of Cups, I've even found this card to even talk about like we've actually like literally lost somebody. Now with the 4 of Coins, this is my card of foundations, like figuring out the foundations. What are we working with here? But also too, this can talk about like having our barriers up. So one of the interpretations this could be this week is that maybe some fighting either that we've brought on ourselves, fighting with this person, or I want to say because it's next to the King of Wands, this person has been fighting fighting and quarreling with us. It's been self-inflicted on their end. And now maybe here with the Four of Coins, maybe this person's coming back around to have a conversation, and it's telling you to make sure that you still have your barriers up with this person. And I would say, if there's that kind of feeling, make sure this person's actually doing their fucking work if they're coming the fuck back around. Show up healing and or healed. Do not come back to me with the same old bullshit is what I would want to say. Or here with the Five of Cups, the King of Wands, and the Four of Coins, maybe this person does come back around and we have a conversation around that fight. Maybe we both realize that we both had a hand in this. And so maybe we're looking at the foundation of this relationship. What are we actually working with here? And do we actually want to continue to work with this person? I think that's important. Honestly, this week with this important male figure, and I want to say with Wands here too, this can also be spirit-led. So I want to say that this, whatever issues have been going on here, maybe this could even just be talking about like what's happened here with an important male figure, fire element here, that, you know, we fought with this person fought with us, and we felt a major loss here, but we are rebuilding our structure and our foundation even better this time because of this relationship, maybe even too. So I just want to say here, guys, whatever happens this week around this male figure, just make sure before you jump into anything, or if we reconcile or anything happens here, make sure that this person's actually saying what they walking their walk and talking their talk. Okay, make sure that like what they're saying and their actions actually line the fuck up. And if we have something is still off here, just make sure to take care of yourself, take care of you, because a lot of times too, the Four of Coins can talk about that, taking care of yourself. Now sometimes the Four of Coins can talk about like being obsessive about stuff, just like our material stuff around us, making sure that we're keeping this could be like safety and security. So that's why I'm saying this week, like if you feel with this person that you are no longer safe or secure with them, make sure you still got your boundaries up. Or maybe after this fight that broke all the safety and security stuff between us. So how do we rebuild that here with the Four of Coins possibly? Is there a possible way to rebuild this? If not, just continue to keep your boundaries up and make sure you walk the fuck away from this person. But if you find that you do want to reconcile with them, if this does come back around and we're trying to heal here, make sure that we look at the actual foundation of our relationship. Make sure that there's an actual friendship at the core of that. And if there isn't, is there a way to build that now? Do we trust each other enough to actually be able to do that? And what are the boundaries and the perimeters around that now too? All right. So make sure that you're looking out for yourself and what you need. Okay. Especially if this other person started the fight. So just look, it's important that we look at the ways that we're doing stuff too. So make sure if something's been highlighted here around you and the way that you handle stuff, make sure that you take care of your shit too. Especially if you're asking for somebody to come healed and or healing, make sure that you're doing the work yourself. Otherwise, overall, guys, I want to say this week, we either get into a fight and we lose this person and we got to take care of ourselves, or this person's coming back around after a fight that we've had and we need to keep our barriers up and or question marks around how do we work on the foundations of this going forward. You guys got this. And if you guys got card pile number 2, here's your beautiful cards. Your first one is the Ten of Swords. Second card is the Knight of Cups. And the final card is a major arcana card. Talk about major change, major evolution, major movement forward. You got the Emperor. So let's fucking talk about it, you guys. Interesting card pull card pile number 2. There's a couple ways that this can be interpreted. So my first interpretation with the Ten of Swords, this is betrayal. This is false relationships. This is rock fucking bottom. Look at this guy. He has been stabbed to death, shoved in that little tiny trunk. Ouch. Like, none of that's good. But if you guys look in the background, there's like a new day dawning. So with the tens here, it's talking about like the end of a cycle. There's a new day dawning here, or lights being shed on something. Maybe that occurred here. With swords here too, mentally, just this is absolute mental exhaustion. We have burned the candle at 80, 100 ends. We've got nothing but ashes in our hands. We can't work with anything. We don't have the energy, time. We don't have the relationships to back us up. Everything just feels like it literally, this is rock the fuck bottom. There is no lower chamber. We have reached the bottom one. Now with the Knight of Cups here, usually this talks about a male your age or younger, not as mature as the king as I would like him to be, but still this guy's chivalrous. This is heartfelt. This is love. This is an offer usually of love coming through. And then with the Emperor here, this is the ultimate king. There is no king above him. This guy is, his most important role in life is being a father and a protector. With also, traditionally, this is Aries, but this also stands for any of the fire elements: Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. He's going to have those in his top three, or important inner placements or important fire placements here. So guys, this combination could talk about like thinking that this relationship was false. It was full of shit. Like, this person lied to me. Maybe we're going through a period of separation or we're not talking to this person. All of a sudden they come the fuck back around with an offer of love. This could be actual love, or this could be friendship. Now with the Emperor here, like, this guy, he's the one in control, y'all. So he's the one that's coming here with this. Now this could talk about like you bringing this offer to him, because the Knight of Cups is, if you notice in these cards, like the Knight of Cups would be moving towards him. So maybe either you're bringing this offer towards him, maybe trying to, maybe after a fight that you guys had with the Ten of Swords here, or maybe just something happened where it's just like, just a period of no communication. We thought everything blew the fuck up. Maybe it was just a miscommunication. And then with the Knight of Cups, maybe we decided to take this message of love to this person, let them know how much we care about them. Friendship, love, platonic. This could be work, career, doesn't fucking matter. This works in every single fucking sphere with this one. Or this could talk about the Emperor bringing this message to you this week. So decide with your energy what is best. Do you think it would be better for you now that you've thought about this situation? Maybe you have hit rock bottom. Maybe you thought this person was full of shit, and then maybe you got some kind of piece of information that flipped everything the fuck around. Maybe even too, just been sitting thinking about like the past and like, everything that's happened here with this person, because the Knight of Cups is moving towards the right, talking about the past. So been kind of sentimental, thinking about stuff. And we don't want things to feel like it's this false relationship, that everything blew up. Just leave it the way that it was, dead on the fucking ground. Right. And so we take this offer of love to the Emperor, like, let's try this again. Or again, this could talk about this person bringing this offer to you. Now, if this is around business, maybe this is something that fell through and is coming the fuck back around from an important male figure within either your company or within your industry here. This is somebody that is in a power position. So I'm talking CEO, top dog, big boss. Do you feel? This is somebody that has the ability to like control and take over everything. So maybe we're bringing an offer to this person. Maybe we're reviving some old project or some old thing that we wanted to do. Maybe we're bringing it to them, or maybe they're bringing this old project around back to us saying, hey, here's your chance to try this again. We thought it was a no-go before, but look, we've got an open opportunity here. But yeah, guys, if this is around love and relationships, either you're bringing this to somebody or somebody's bringing it to you. I just think that's very interesting. So it's just like, to me, it feels like a 180 turnaround. 1 minute we're thinking like everything is blown the fuck up. The next minute it's come the fuck back together, and even better than it was before. But I do want to say, this man, this emperor figure is the one in control. So if you're thinking that like, this is going to somehow balance out the power dynamics, if you're talking about like a love relationship or a friendship, this will not. In terms of career and business, this actually works because this person's supposed to be in charge. But we're looking for balance and equilibrium in our love relationships, friendships, partnerships. You know what I'm saying, guys? So I would say the only people this week that I would just be kind of nervous about would be the love and the other relationships, because not business and career, love and other relationships, just because like the power dynamics are so off here, guys. And so if you want a real balanced love relationship or friendship or working partnership, like, we got to work with somebody that's on the same level, or that sees us as the same level, or that we're not looking up to, like we're putting on a fucking pedestal. Okay. Look, another like the only way that this would probably work positively for love and relationships, and this is like your literal father that you're trying to like come back to and like work with here. Do you know what I'm saying? Other than that, love, I don't like it. I don't like it. So just make sure that the power dynamics here aren't fucking skewed, and that we're able to be on the same fucking level. What did this Ten of Swords moment teach you about that rock bottom? And so if this person's coming back around, make sure that we're adding the equilibrium here to this, or that we need to be in equal partnership, or this doesn't fucking work for me. Okay. But I do want to say it's heartfelt, it's chivalrous. Whatever's coming through here, this message, this offer, is heartfelt and chivalrous and loving. Okay. So I do trust the offer, but the person that it's coming from, if it's coming from this male figure, just make sure that as long as it's not business or like an actual father figure, like a father to you, make sure with this person we're on equal playing field. All right. All right, you guys, you got this. And if you got card pile number 3, hold on to your titties, because here's got some gorgeous fucking cards. All right, your first one is the Ten of Cups. Your second card is the Nine of Cups. And your final card is the Ten of Coins. Let's fucking talk about it. This is fucking awesome. All right, so I'm going to say today this is probably my favorite draw of the whole fucking deck. With that being said, Jesus Christ, you guys, you want a key to what it is that you're going to... Okay, so if you're trying to build something, I want to say, long story short, I get so excited about this message. That if we're building towards something, if we're like literally trying to build an empire, if we're literally trying to like build something that's important for us this week, we have to put our love and our joy and our emotions and our energy into it. And so if you're thinking that you're going to reach a goal here without like involving manifestation in some way, shape, or form, you're out of your fucking mind. Or if you think that you're going to reach this end point without feeling into it or like tuning into what it is that you want here, you're not going to get the end result that you're looking for. And so it's saying here with the Ten of Cups, like not only is your intuition need to be on point and you be trusting it, but it's also saying here that like your joy, your happiness, your what it is that you want is key to getting what you're trying to literally build right now. And so if we're not happy or joyous, if we're not putting that joy and happiness into this creative process, if we're not injecting your joy and happiness on the journey in order to get what it is that we're trying to build here, you are literally missing the fucking point. And on top of that, you're only working at like 50%. What? What? Also, can you please start trusting your fucking intuition? Holy fucking shit. Can you please, for the love of God, fucking trust yourself? Because with the Ten of Cups and the Nine of Cups here, like, this is literally at your fingertips. And so I do want to say that, like, where your joy and your happiness is guiding you is, like, where you need to be. So can you please, for the love of God, maybe another interpretation this week, please, for the love of God, could you please, please, please move towards those things, people, places, situations, projects, whatever the fuck is on deck for you, those things that make you feel happy and at peace and joy-filled and like you know that you're supposed to be here and be a part of it. Can you please stop denying yourself what it is, the fuck that you want? Thinking that somehow if you deny yourself and what it is that you want, that you're still going to get to some end result where you get what you want. That's not how this works. And so this week is asking you, shine that spotlight. I'm wondering around the 22nd if just a spotlight is shown upon what it is that you love and that you value and that you cannot turn away from it anymore. And that maybe here's something too, that end results or this end game or this empire that you're trying to build or this family that you're putting together or this project that you're doing or this business that you're creating, whatever the fuck it is. Like, can you please start recognizing that, like, when you start doing what you love, the money, the safety and security, the everything that you want follows. It's kind of a thing. Okay? It's kind of a thing. So I feel like this week, if you got card pile number 3, there's an important message for you and I think some homework, and that you've got to start trusting yourself and trusting yourself around what you feel is home, what you feel is love, what you feel is happiness, what gets you excited, what makes you feel at peace, what brings you joy, and following that all the way to the fucking bank. I literally mean that. And guys, I've also found too that, like, guys, I've done a bunch of different jobs. When I went for safety and security first, I hated those jobs. I made good money, but I hated those jobs and they were killing me. Now that I'm doing what the fuck I love, it's taken a while, but the money has fucking followed. I'm able to work from home and spend all the time that I can with my kid. Like, what I'm saying to you is have enough faith and trust in yourself this week and within your own intuition, within your own wanting and desire to know that what you want and what you desire is literally calling you home. If you can answer that and say yes to it, you can actually work with more joy and happiness at your fingertips. And lo and behold, you reach those safety and security goals. So go towards the things that make you happy and you get what you want. You deny yourself what that is, or you keep telling yourself you don't want something even though you do. The denial here is what's literally holding you back. So tune into that joy and that happiness. I'm going to say it 800 more times. Tune into the joy and the happiness, because it's a neon sign around where you need to be, with whom you need to be with the institutions you need to be at, taking those classes or talking to people or whatever the fuck it is here. Follow your joy. Stop being dumb. Follow your joy. Okay? So you can finally live the life that you've been dreaming of. It doesn't have to be a dream anymore, guys. This is like taking what I want and my happiness and my joy and like literally making it real. So if you got card pile number 3 this week, if you don't manifest and if you don't start putting joy and if you don't start following your joy in what you're doing, you are just, what are you doing? Dumb bubblegum, get back on track. Okay? Okay. All right, you guys, I hope to God that made sense. I hope to God it was helpful. And you know, feedback helps me to grow. And guys, thank you so much for the joy, the honor, and most importantly, for trusting me to pull your cards and talk to you about the bullshit and astrofuckery that's going on throughout our week. It's my joy and my honor to be here. I love you guys so much. If you need anything, you know how to get a hold of me, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.